game that I own is at least probably 2 years old. Probably like 10 years old as well. I generally purchase like really old games to play because my computer... Oh my goodness. You guys are gonna laugh at me if I tell you my computer specifications. I have a really new motherboard, but my graphics card is like old as fuck. You wanna take a guess? It's really old. It was a hand-me-down. 970, that's too old. Yeah, I have a GTX 1080. Bro, I still have a 1070 Ti, but it works. Yeah, that's a thing. It works for me. I only play like silly games. It's decent, and I don't really need an upgrade because, you know, I don't really play like really high graphics or 3D like AAA shit. Yeah, 1080 is perfectly fine for most stuff. So I actually got this as a hand-me-down from my producer, Nash, when I first built my first PC for VTubing. So when I started out VTubing, I actually used a laptop. I have a workstation laptop. It's still alive, but, you know, it wasn't the best for streaming because, you know, it was so chuggy. I couldn't play anything on it. It was fine if I just wanted to play games, but if I was streaming and playing games, yeah, no, it just couldn't do it. So the community actually funded my first PC, which was insane. It took a while, but I actually managed to upgrade. Every single time I actually upgrade my equipment, it's content creation money. That's where I get my money from. I like to upgrade my stuff. So my first PC was kind of cobbled together because I was trying to grab a bunch of like secondhand parts and stuff. The motherboard died. It's one of those like really old motherboards that was really weird. It had like 6 slots instead of like 4 or 8. You know, usually motherboards have like 4, 8, 16 slots, that kind of thing. This one had a weird RAM slot, and it also had 6 slots. Yeah, most have 4. It was one of those. Like one of those like... You know, back then they marketed this as like, oh, gaming PC. So I had one of those, and then it died. So I had to buy an entirely new computer because I couldn't use any of the parts combined with any new hardware. So I just decided to upgrade. So I bought a whole ass computer. The specs are so mismatched. I have a 12th gen Intel i7 core. And I have like 32 gigs of RAM. And then when you ask me, oh, what's your GPU? I'm like, oh, GTX 1080. I've been laughed at by like gamer friends, or maybe they aren't really gamers because they don't really understand why I'm using a 1080, because I know that a 1080 is more than enough for me. Intel 12th gen is the CPU. Wait, that's a really long message. Hold on. 1270K. Yeah, that's the one I have. That's the one. I also need a lot of RAM because, you know, when I run like audio programs, buffering and stuff like that, when I do audio work, it takes up a lot of RAM. Yeah, production stuff. You guys want to know something funny about my computer? I actually have one monitor plugged into the motherboard and the other one plugged into my graphics card. I assume it's because you lack the right input in the GPU. Yeah, I don't have a DisplayPort monitor, so I was like, whatever. There's one HDMI on both the graphics card and the motherboard, so I'm just gonna plug it there. If I get a third screen though, I would have to get either a converter or an actual DisplayPort screen. Do you know the refresh rate of my main monitor? I think it's 144. Or is it 60? I don't remember. I don't care enough. Kind of a funny question because it happened to me, but if it's higher then... Oh yeah, no. I actually set mine because I'm pretty sure my first monitor is something that's like 75 Hz, but I set it to 60 on purpose so that we could match the one on my second screen. Because my second screen is set at 60. I actually did set my first monitor to 75, which is like the max for a while, but then I realized like I don't care about having like the max refresh rate. So I was like, it's okay, I'll just set it to 60 so that I don't get like weird screen tearing or some shit when I'm playing games. But honestly, I think I'm not observant enough to even notice that shit. I don't really play fast-paced games anymore, like Apex COD or whatever, so doesn't really matter.